Hello YouTube. One of the things that I recommend is for government and the scientific community to develop a means of air conditioning the atmosphere. As crazy as that sounds, we need a way to chemically or by some other industrial process remove heat from the atmosphere. And in chemistry, it's very basic science. Some reactions require heat to catalyze, and we can get a lot of the heat out of the atmosphere if we can figure out a way to do large scale, commercial scale endothermic reactions. Kind of like what they're doing with carbon sequestration, but instead of removing carbon, you're removing thermal energy from the environment. You're trapping it via some kind of chemical process, and you're doing that on a recurring basis on a very, very significant scale. This is just one idea, but we need to figure out a way to remove heat from the air. Ambient air temperature heats physical objects. It heats everything it comes into contact with, water and land and everything else. And in turn, we have severe weather, and we have wildfires, and we have extreme temperatures, and people get hurt, and people get sick, and they die because it's too hot. I frequently think about these things. I read news articles all day, and I just try to figure out what would be the best solution for this, because this is something that affects me personally too. I have to live with the heat. I worked a job where I was loading trucks for a living for 9 years without air conditioning in the summertime, and they were corrugated steel shipping containers, and the temperatures in those trucks would soar between 120 and 150 degrees, depending on where you were in the truck. There was great temperature variance, especially in the longer trucks. And I'd often have to take days off because I'd get really sick. And that situation is still affecting a lot of people who work in those warehouse environments. That's just an example of why I care. But you need to write your representatives and say, hey, we need to figure out a way to use industrial processes to remove heat from the atmosphere and cool the air. Instead of air conditioning your house, let's air condition the world.